The core of the lesson asks students to share ideas on a given text that we study, record those ideas on chart paper, and then they would circulate around the classroom and look at the ideas of their peers and add to those ideas or respectfully disagree with those ideas. And in that way, they could organize all of their thoughts. The texts that the students were discussing in this particular lesson were Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from Birmingham jail, Genetics of Justice, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Eleanor Roosevelt's speech on that Declaration of Human Rights, and a speech by Malala about the importance of education for all. All of the texts that we read in this module were all connected by what? Or are they all really about? Violations of human rights, right. Someone from Table 2, tell me in your own words what you're expected to do on this assignment. Aaron?
Take Letter from Birmingham Jail, Genetics of Justice, and one of the other pieces of literature and connect them with a common purpose and then explain it with either rhetoric or structure.
Okay, very good. And what's the other thing?
Word choices.
Word choices. Okay, so those are the things that we're going to do. Effective persuasive writing, and what are some strategies that we want to be on the lookout for?
Pathos, logos.
Pathos, logos, ethos. Anything else you can think of? Parallelism, very good. And many more.
Yeah, he was writing the letter to convince the clergyman that his actions were right. The bigger purpose of it all was just to end the injustices that were occurring.
It was a call to action to do the things that he was doing to try and stop these unjust laws or whatever.
Yeah.
Now regarding the structure, he's writing this in response to what?
Their letter of their opposition to his ideas of direct action.
Okay, so who's the there we're talking about?
The 8 clergymen.
The 8 clergymen, okay. How does he use the document that the 8 clergymen said to structure his own?
Because especially with the beginning, he goes through and lists every single step of his process, because there was a time when they said that he would quote them and say my actions were untimely, and he would go through and explain why his actions were not untimely, and it was perfect timing.
Okay, so he used the 8 clergymen's statement really
To back himself
up,
Yeah.
to use that to help him structure his own argument. Okay, very good.
Should we just mention the fact that he's able to balance different tones in different sections of his writing?
King is able to balance.
How about he's able to maintain a sophisticated attitude throughout, using different tones?
Yeah.
Maintain a respectful
Tone.
We're trying to say he maintains a respectful tone even though it fluctuates.
Yes, I think fluctuates is a great word to use.
Even
Fluctuates between what and what?
Okay, so he's able to maintain a respectful tone
even as
while explaining his
while showing his passion and frustration.
yes.
That sounds good.
The purpose, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is meant to establish a universal guideline for basic human rights.
Yeah, you could say guidelines, or you could say we can add moral standings for people.
So I can just put in parentheses moral.
Yeah.
For structure, it starts out with a preamble and then it lists the articles.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
so
a
use
good
the articles begin with the preamble, direct, formal. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, what they have is good.
So should we start that to show that we agree?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. There's a lot of parallel structure.
That's what I was gonna say.
And rhetorical questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Do rhetorical questions and parallel structure.
And repetition.
Logos no flies into the closed mouth. That's a good one. Pathos. Even on American soil, they were afraid of awful consequences if they spoke out or disagreed with authorities. That's a good one. Repetition to emphasize silence.
Censorship.
Dictatorship. Inside the head.
Yeah, they had a lot of good points.
Yeah, those are good rhetorical devices.
Do you have anything else for rhetorical?
I had everything that they have up there.
I did too, so
Word choices. A big one. Megalomania is a big one. I think. Silence.
Star fear. Fear, megalomania, and silence.
I actually used genetics and justice.
We looked at 5 different texts today, and I would like you to raise your hand and tell me which of the texts that you thought was the most effective for you. Which one did you like the best? Which one did you feel was the strongest for you? Jordan.
I guess I would say Malala, just because she's kind of
it relates to more us on our level because she's so young and everything, and the fact that she went through that and she's empowered to like actually speak.
Good, so that one kind of resonated with you. Michaela?
I would say the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Well, this is why that is so great, because not many of the rest of the kids, I think, appreciated that document for what it was as much as you did. So tell us.
Love that you love it.
We do love it. Tell us why you loved it.
I think people can't get past the fact that it's like a legal document. You read through it and you see people's opinions and their beliefs, and it's to me that's like more inspirational than one person talking about something.
Very good, excellent. Saya, what do you think?
Because it shows you like silence does nothing for you, and when you actually speak up, it does make a change. And like the change might be like the sisters we talked about, even though they got killed, they did bring a positive change, and they made more people speak out. So it like shows you like when you speak up, no silence like make a change.
Yeah, so silence was definitely something that we saw, and it was really emphasized in that piece of literature. And then we saw that idea kind of echoed in other pieces as well. So I thought that was very good as well. Cody, what do you think?
I felt like the letter from Birmingham jail was the best one for me because he used like a lot of powerful speeches and stuff. Yeah. And a lot of times like a lot of people weren't for his cause, and so he used his own knowledge and power to like get people to join him for his freedom.
He was definitely very persuasive, I think. Yeah, that was definitely a very powerful document. Yes.
I feel the same as Cody. Like Letter from Birmingham jail was definitely like resonated with me the most because I think the things he's fighting for are still relevant today.
I actually really liked the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by Roosevelt because I felt like she was kind of like she remained polite, but she was able to throw down Soviets logically.
She's still polite in the way she presented a very strong case. You're absolutely right. Now, what's great about this module and what you guys have done so well is if you take a look at all the different types of writing that we have looked at in this module, we have Letter from Birmingham Jail, which is an example of a letter. And what is Genetics of Justice? Personal essay, good. And Roosevelt and Malala were two examples of speeches. And the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a document. So we saw all kinds of different aspects of human rights. How would it have been different for us if we had just looked at one text? Aubrey.
Well, like we were talking about at the beginning, if you look at two different pieces of text, it can make it easier to understand the other one, and it gives you a different perspective on the piece that you're reading.
Different perspective, right, exactly. Yes,
It's like kind of only hearing like one side of an argument. If you only hear one side, then you're not exposed to multiple things.
Right.
So
understanding was deepened, I think.
Yeah.
Michaela?
I agree, and especially like if you look at like the documents, if you just take a look at it, you don't really grasp the whole of it, and you don't really get that emotion behind it and see what human rights is.
Right, exactly. Cody?
I feel like if you look at all the different documents, they're from different perspectives and like different regions.
Yes.
So it
Different regions. Tell me more about that.
It gives you a viewpoint of how things like are a problem like worldwide. So like these people are standing up for a cause that's not just something that's dear to them, but like the whole world.
It actually shows me, like it opens my eyes a little bit more about what's happening around in the world.
But I try to look deeper into them and see it's a lot of people's heart that they have put into these legal documents, and not just one person has written this legal document in particular. It was many nations that have really thought, and it's a lot of their opinions and beliefs that like I strongly agree with, and it's inspirational to me.
Yeah, you feel more mature. I feel like I'm in college.
They understood, that they were going to be reading lots of texts that were going to explore one central idea in many different ways. I think that many times when students are asked to write in college, they're asked to find several different sources of things. Modules such as this one that ask students to read varied sources and to look at this issue in other parts of the world, in other time periods, and in many different ways, I think it really deepens their understanding of the topic of human rights. It was interesting because the students had a base familiarity with Martin Luther King Jr. and of course our civil rights difficulties here in America, but very few of them had any knowledge about what had gone on in the Dominican Republic, and so that was very new to them and interesting to them. And though they knew who Eleanor Roosevelt was, they didn't have a strong understanding of the speech and the historical document on which it was based on. And then Malala is very recent, very contemporary for them. So it was great to see how different time periods and different regions of the world were all, combined in this. And in addition to that, the students were asked to read outside, and we had a list of novels and both actually fiction and nonfiction pieces that they were asked to read, and we made connections with those things too. So I think that they got a really strong understanding of this topic.